My name is Taria Avery. I'm the founder of Avery's Pet Styling Salon. We're a mobile dog and cat grooming business that makes it easier and more convenient for pet parents to provide their fur babies with TLC. And we've recently expanded into a pet product wellness line, which we can talk about as well.
What's the origin story behind your brand?
I started out in corporate as a management consultant and I worked in marketing for one of the top 3 consulting firms in the world and decided that I wanted to do something a bit more fulfilling because I was living out of a suitcase. I had a dog and it was just this interesting intersection of many fun variables, traveling, living out of a suitcase, having a dog, needing him to have the best care and taking him to some of the best country clubs and kennels and doggy daycares around the world. One day I noticed that I continued to shuffle in line on Mondays to drop my fur baby off before catching a flight and then coming back at the end of the week with the same pet parents. And I thought that based on my experience in working, with this particular facility and many others, that there had to be a better way in terms of providing your fur baby with the best health and wellness that you could in terms of grooming and lodging, training, etc. I decided that I would look into starting a pet business. And so that kind of gave me the idea and the mustard seed to start. I was passionate about raising the bar for the level of pet care, just even for my own lab. He is a chocolate lab who did not require any grooming. So to say that I wasn't happy with his grooming experience is kind of silly because he just gets very basic care. But that was sort of the catalyst. And then from there, I parlayed my corporate roots to go and have many doors opened and have meetings with angel investors and venture capitalists to build this business from scratch, which was quite an interesting experience. And, it taught me that you just have to keep going, right? So many times they said, well, you have this great corporate job. Why would you quit your great job to go play with dogs? I think, are you kidding me? It's going to be all inclusive with grooming and daycare and boarding and a veterinarian on site, training, groceries, whatever is needed for your fur baby would be our haven. That's why I said, taught me to keep going. And after being turned down many times, I decided that I would just start it off on my own. I bootstrapped the business and got going, got it off the starting blocks, as they say.
When was this? When did you make that leap?
I officially started the business in 2008 while I was working this corporate job. And so on my off time and weekends and nights when I was in town, I was operating the business. And then I'd say for about 18 months, I sort of laid the ground floor and planted my roots to make sure everything would be sustainable and would stick, right? That was my worst fear that maybe this wouldn't work and I would quit my job and suddenly we would close up shop. And so once we got our sea legs, I went full time in 2009. And within 5 years, we became one of the largest mobile pet grooming businesses in the Philadelphia metro area, which was pretty cool. In the beginning, it was just me. I started it by myself, one woman in a van, working, say, 8 days a week, 25 hours a day. And then, as I began to hire people, they helped me to build the business. But yeah, we became the largest outfit within a short period of time, just based on fleet size and our territory footprint. We were serving over 10 counties in that Philadelphia metro area and 3 counties in South Jersey.
So what's the operation look like now?
We're on the other side of COVID, right? So at the height of things, we had 6 vans, staff of 10 people just for grooming devoted to that. We had also the point where we had opened 2 storefronts to help to expand our footprint even more because we were constrained by capacity, the amount of people, the amount of vans that you could have, and the amount of pets, ground you could cover in a day. There was a point in time where we expanded into storefronts. I also offered private licensed training to deepen our bench, as they say, for more grooming professionals. Then the pandemic hit. So now we're a little smaller than that because, we've closed the storefronts. We no longer offer the training program as an outside paid offering, and we're 100% mobile. So we're about half the fleet size, half the staff size, but we're still servicing a lot of clients a year, which is pretty nice. COVID changed a lot of things. Luckily for us, we had started out doing mobile when I pitched my business to have this all-inclusive under one roof sort of operation and wasn't able to afford to build out the space, right? I didn't have the investment I thought I would initially. So having those roots in mobile for so many years really helped us come out on top, I believe, after the pandemic. We were able to pivot back, say, okay, we're just going to go back to the model we had, continue to add value and expand from there.
You're in the incubator and you're looking to add, a whole product line. Tell me about what made you desire to do that and what are you hoping to create?
One of the things I quickly began to see, even though we are still continuing to grow, again, we have a capacity limit. Even though we're servicing several thousand pet parents a year, traveling many, many miles, it's that ceiling that we're always going to hit. A lot of clients have been asking for many years for a product something that would help to keep their fur baby healthy and well in between visits, whether that's a grooming product. A lot of our clients have pets with health issues, senior pets or behavioral problems, young pets that are chewing things, or they may have allergies, whatever it might be. Always been asking for different solutions in the way of product. But because we were focusing so much on the service side of things, training and hiring and expanding our fleets and servicing down vehicles and, just addressing the daily needs and demands of a service business, wowing clients, right, in person, I just didn't have the bandwidth to really focus on the product aspect. I joined the incubator because I realize now the importance of being able to offer clients as many options as you can if you have a trusted relationship with them. So now that I'm a member of the incubator, I'm really excited about bringing forward this line of products that's going to focus on the total pet, which is pretty rewarding.
I know with a lot of people, when they're coming in and they're totally already just going to be product, we're like, okay, first thing, figure out your who, go build your audience. Do you have a little bit of a head start with that, having a nice client list?
I would say yes and no. So initially I thought, yes, we have our avatar. We have thousands of clients we can talk with, right? And ask, what are their pain points? How can we help you? What are your current habits? And what do you feel is needed in the market or in your fur baby's everyday life and in yours? So we started along that path. And what was revealed to me is that, yes, we do have a lot of wonderfully supportive clients that have a need for their pet to be cared for holistically. But then there are other pet parents who are a little wary about having some of the different products that we offer, which I think was just a great microcosm of what we would experience anyway, in general, whether we had a business starting with that sort of warm pool or we were a startup, brand new, starting cold. So it was sort of a nice warm base to start and kind of get our sea legs and really try to figure out how we could best service them and understand their needs and develop products that really meet some of the issues that they're facing.
All right. So looking back so far, what are some milestones that you're just like really proud of?
I have some big milestones that I'm really proud of. When you start to think about sort of your overall body of work, then you also value and appreciate the smaller ones. So for example, we serve about 3,500 pet parents annually. Over the course of our business, we've served 53,000 pets. We have helped over 10,000 pet parents and we've traveled over 500,000 miles. Unreal for me to think about when I first had the dream of starting. We started during the recession year, right? 2008. We made it through the pandemic, all the years in between. Thinking about another metric is when it was time to expand and we're hiring and really trying to maintain that high level of care and quality service. It was really difficult to find people to fit the bill, which is kind of what led us into the private licensing. But despite that, we got really creative and started to niche down and figure out what is the type of person, whether they're a groomer or non-groomer, what type of person that we are looking for to care for our fur babies. And based on that, we've hired over 225 people, wonderful, skilled, creative, experienced groomers and artisans, people who may have had physical or visible or even invisible disabilities, people who may have been like young adults, kids that may have gotten in trouble with something silly and they needed a second chance when they were looking to become economically viable, looking at the single mom who said, I just got divorced. I'm all on my own. I have a dog and I loved my dog, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing, right? And I have 3 kids to feed. Thinking about changing lives as I've gone through this experience, those are now the metrics I think that really resonate with me. At the end of the day, I was the woman in the van. I'm one woman helping many other women and men and one human being, right? Just trying to do the best I can and leave the world and help the people in it on this planet Earth the best way that I can.
Tell me about what is your planned product line?
We have Avery's Mobile Pet Spa, which is the service side, and I have to keep retraining my brain on the pet product wellness line, which we're calling Avery's Holistic Paws. And essentially the goal is to improve the quality of life and longevity for our fur babies. In order to do that, we're looking at inside out health. Our first product is a prebiotic and a probiotic and a dental stick that you're able to give to your fur baby daily. And it helps to improve their gut health, a balanced intestinal flora, and really keep a good balance of the good bacteria and bad bacteria, so to speak, so that they have the best possible oral health that they can. And it makes oral care easier for the pet parent because, brushing their teeth. And some of my clients, they said, I'm not putting my hand in their mouth. They're going to bite me. He loves me until I get near her with a toothbrush. We want to maintain that trusting, loving relationship and bond with the pet parent and their fur baby. So offering this daily dental stick will help to solve a lot of issues without any angst on either side. During our formulation process, one of the other benefits that we learned about is that the yeast buildup in the gut can help to be controlled with this new product. And that combats the dog having itchy paws. When I went back to sort of my tick list of the top pain point, it was tied between oral care and allergies. And I thought, oh, is there a way to combat both, right? Because one isn't necessarily more important than the other. If you look at some of the data and science, they're equally important. So this product allows us to combat many different things for many different pets, which we're very excited about.
Have you launched yet, or?
We do have a pre-sale in effect at the moment. We are working on our launch early next year, which is super cool. But so far, what we've been doing is collecting feedback from clients and friends, family who have sampled the product. And we've asked, some of them have been so kind as to keep a log about their results, which is helpful because we know based on our formulation and experience with the product what it should do, right? But we want to make sure that it's working as effectively in many different pets in many different areas, many different lifestyles. So getting that feedback and confirmation is really critical.
What's your long-term plan with the product side of your business? A lot of people build it to sell. A lot of people are like, I will never sell. I mean, where are you on that?
I am in this really exciting, happy space of love. So I feel really in love with what we're doing. It's a different way of servicing some of the same people that we've seen, and it's a different way of servicing new people that we've never met. But it goes back to our overall mission of really just focusing on, like I said, improving the quality of life, increasing longevity of pets, and helping families. Long term, I see us launching 6 to 8 products overall to start, and really just sort of letting our clients tell us what their needs are and how we can best adjust and help serve them. In terms of selling long term, I'm a business owner, right? We're always looking at opportunities, potentially selling this company. The product company could be a blessing and a benefit to somebody else, right? And for me, short of becoming a B Corp, those are some of the warm and fuzzy wins that I enjoy. So, I would say the sky's the limit. We're looking to build it for long-term sustainability and growth.
And are you still looking for investors, or, now you've bootstrapped, are you going to carry it all across the field here, or are you looking for help?
Back then, many years ago, I knew and understood the benefit and the value of having investors. It was my first business and I was learning the ropes and all of that. And so I think when I was turned down, I kind of just ran. That's not the way to be. I never run from anything. Why did I run from that? So now being a part of the incubator, actually, one of the goals that I have is to exercise that muscle. Typically, I don't want to say the F word, but fear comes into play, right? And it makes you reticent. And that was me. But now after joining the incubator, I really feel much more confident about how to position myself and my business for investment. So definitely, yes, we will be seeking investment. But beyond investment, one other really big lesson that I learned in terms of being with the incubator is access to information, specifically to a proven method and model versus starting it from scratch and doing it the hard way. And, it's impressive, right? If you can be successful at it, then you have the longevity. But the reality of it is you should work as smart as you possibly can. Access and proximity to successful product owners is what I'm seeking now so that I can grow and have the most impact with our pet care company.
What I'm looking for is basically some sort of mental shift you've made. So you used to think it was this way. Now it's this. How has any sort of shift, how has that impacted you?
I used to think more money. A lot of times you think, oh, if I have more money, if I could just buy X amount of more fleets or vans added to my fleet, if I could just have an open house and hire 10 people in a day, we would be even more dominant. It's not about money. It's about access to proven tools and methods and the proximity to people who've been there and who've done that and who can teach you if you're willing to put in the work and the effort to achieve success. So it's not money. Money will come as a byproduct.
What would you say right now is your favorite thing about being in the incubator?
I love the coaching calls. There are so many talented people who are members of the community. The coaches are amazing. Their varied experiences, their diverse backgrounds is helpful. I just really enjoy being a part of the group in that regard. I'm always thinking about ways to give, what else I can do to enhance the experience of others. So that's something that I would like to work on because there's a lot that I've done and a lot that I've experienced that I think some of the newer entrepreneurs could learn from. Just being in the company of those folks and having access to them and having that relationship is my favorite part.
What advice would you like to give? They could be at any stage of business. So just great advice that you would love to pass along.
No one can predict the future, so you have to plan it. If you want a certain outcome, you have to plan for it and work towards it. Take it down into bite-sized chunks and execute a little each day, and you'll get there. Now, it's easier said than done, right? We all have that internal voice and the naysayer and all of that. And that's the F word. That's the fear. That's the fear of the unknown and fear of failure, maybe. If you break it down a little at a time and you keep going forward, you'll make it.
What drives you?
I have this fire in my belly. I kid my kids. I said, "Do you have a fire in your belly?" And it's just this desire to maximize what I can do as one person. Like I said, to pay it forward to somebody else and to make the world a better place. It may have a level of naivete still, but really that's what it is. I just have the will and the desire to add value to the world and to be a successful person.